Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni cases likely won't settle before trial, and this is according to Justin's lawyer.
A spokesperson for Lively said, "It's a painful reality that the actress is..."
Simply put, Justin Baldoni demolished Blake Lively in court following her utterly crazy request, and, to be honest, I can't stop giggling.
I just wanted to start the fire and run as far as I possibly can.
Her standing is in. Her films are failing with tatters, bad reviews and criticism directed against her as a liar and bully, and now she wishes to give up and get the lawsuit dismissed. Out, but Justin isn't going to fall. Simple, he's about to win, and no. Despite his gentlemanly demeanor, he's not letting her go anytime soon.
Her motion to dismiss today, and according to the documents, she says Justin's actually violating the law by filing his lawsuit against her because it's all being done for revenge.
And sincerely, after squandering the public's, and Blake doesn't even use the court's time, possess the authority to request it in full. The story of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has formally transformed Hollywood into the cutest courtroom reality show you've ever seen. Didn't realize you needed, but now they are discussing who is able to walk out of their reputational disaster. Fewer shreds.
She asked him herself to play Ryle in the movie, and things were great until Blake Lively, right?
Justin Baldwin is on one side, who asserts that his life and work have been demolished by Blake Lively's charges. Indeed, it was destroyed as a result of his meticulously constructed his public persona. But remember that this isn't. Any damage is the Hollywood kind. Sort where people's reputations are destroyed quicker than the interruption of an Oscar speech. Litigation resulting from public outrage and ongoing. Due to media attention, Baldoni, frantically trying to save what remains of his name,
brought the suit, and he's got to defend himself. And there's some very serious allegations being made against him and Wayfair for harassment.
Blake Lively is over here in the interim, delivering legal blows as if they were an Olympic sport, but her most outlandish. Petition a judge to allow her and Ryan to remain together. The text that Reynolds sent to other. It's true that celebrities are hidden because secrets are more valuable in this town. More than box office receipts, according to these texts by Blake, are so incendiary that their release might result in irreversible harm. And we're not referring to casual. Whatever is in those messages, emojis are here. Ought to be more interesting than a behind the scenes. Tell everything.
Like when you combine it all, it's enough to make you like completely crash out on how, I guess, delusional that these people are.
And how is Blake? And Ryan's justification that they're terrified. Baldwin may divulge these messages to the public, which might damage their standing. However, should we question how exactly it harms it? Are we discussing some offensive jokes, humiliating rumors, or perhaps some unvarnished views? In any case, this appeal. Is everyone's eyebrows going up? Why quarrel when those texts are so flawless? Very difficult to conceal them.
Some of this is getting kind of interesting. There's been some more gossip, some more discussion, but we did get some more information from Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian.
And let's be truthful. This move is rife with publicity. Naturally, legal professionals are having some people refer to field day as strategic, an ingenious method to divert attention away from the actual charges that others believe. Smells as desperate as the final act of a person who is out of options to play
Or falsely claim sexual assault, ruin that person's life, and that person should just lie down and take it. Nothing can be done about it.
And the response from the court is nothing less than amazing. They're most likely as amused as other judges typically don't receive front row seats to drama in Hollywood. So this must be a unique performance, but if they will truly. Blake's reasoning, however, is a different matter, completely, as this isn't just about. The goal of maintaining privacy is preserving the Lively Reynolds name, Hollywood's golden pair, who are able to Don't do anything improper.
First of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable.
And let's not overlook, regarding Baldwin's perspective, he's been shown as the antagonist in this tale, alleged to be prepared to divulge these texts solely to influence public opinion against Blake. But the worst part is, if such texts do, in fact, support him, what if Blake Lively's side is revealed? That her thoughtfully chosen Instagram.
But isn't that the type of twist that
even the most talented screenwriters would envious?
Is a profound abuse of the legal process that has no place in federal court. It also called out Baldoni and his co-defendants' bizarre theories about the actress's intention.
But hold on, there's more, as though the drama in court wasn't hot enough. Additionally, Baldwin has responded with his own. Naturally, Blake didn't take that lawsuit, labeling it vindictive and lying down. Honestly, can you blame her for her rambling? This is no longer only a legal dispute. There is a full-fledged conflict on both sides. Not giving up.
Law was done, but when you think about it, like, you can just, this is how people can get ahead. They can just threaten somebody and say, I will claim that you tried to sexually harass me if you don't do what I want, which is essentially what happened in this case. What I
comprehend the rationale behind the law's implementation. However, when you consider it as you can, this is the only way for people to succeed. They can just say or threaten someone, I'll say that you attempt to engage in sexual. If you don't comply, I'll bother you.
which is basically what took place
In this instance, what I think makes this case is much more intriguing because of how it illustrates Hollywood's fixation with authority over visual narratives and text messages. It seems because it's not about who's correct in Tinseltown or incorrect. It all depends on who can spin the greatest tale, and both Lively and both are vying for control of the story. Prior to the trial date, if you believed it ends with us to be the soul, these two would provide drama, in my opinion, over more, because this feud in real life is turning out to be far more convincing than anything that Hollywood might write.
He suing them.
This is where it becomes incredibly intriguing. Despite this lawsuit is not merely a verbal battle. It's, simply put, about power. Baldoni is battling to save what remains of his standing. He's claimed to have been the target of a slander campaign for a person who has experienced and career destroyed due to Blake's. The opposite of Blake's charges. The legal staff is putting in extra hours to portray her as the truth's protector, the individual who resisted whatever went down as it ends was being filmed alongside us.
You know, he is suing for defamation, extortion, and basically, in layman's terms, shady business practice.
However, this is the twist. What should have been a simple version of a well-loved book has evolved into a full-length. Public opinion on soap operas is really crazy. Baldwin's card may be seen by some lawsuit as a daring attempt to clear his record. Others, however, likely believe Blake nailed it with her vindictive and digressive. When you comment, let's be truthful, gets classified that way, you may practically imagine the jury suppressing their yawns or glancing at each other before the opening. Even arguments are made.
This is about that narrative that I think they instantly started spinning. I believe that they are going to be able to prove in court that this was personal Ryan Reynolds versus Justin Baldoni.
Come on, let's go. A little earlier, when Justin Baldoni and the controversy with Blake Lively started, it all began working on the It Ends With Us set, movie that was meant to be an emotional version of Colleen Hoover's work, bestseller, but ultimately became a dumpster fire of accusations and egos. Blake and the Whispers claim that, at first, Justin's chemistry was more passive and romantic leads. Things got out of hand with hostile coworkers. From a few crude remarks to outright legal battle more quickly than you can say. Box office failure.
Take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and
according to Blake, Justin was the issue claiming everything from harassment and unprofessional conduct. And we must not overlook her vivid explanations of how the collection became her particular nightmare.
Told us that Justin Baldoni claims she tried to take over his movie because she has a history of saying, okay, I'll be the star, but what I secretly want to do is direct it and edit it and produce it.
Conversely, Justin curses. He insists that he is the true victim in this situation. The accusations made against Blake have ruined his reputation, his professional life, and possibly even his coffee routine in the morning.
Blake Lively's claims that she was allegedly harassed by this guy when they shot the movie It Ends With Us, a film about domestic violence.
A lawyer said he was devastated, which, let's face it, this is precisely the type of melodrama in this instance flourishes when the dramatic piano accompaniment.
And that what in fact happened was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it, and used threats and coercion and bullying to do it.
However, wait to see whether it improves or deteriorates on your threshold for used. Blake's embarrassment, not just one, but Justin is accused in 2 cases of causing her mental anguish and asserting she lost income as a result of Justin's fallout, responded with a lawsuit of his own, claiming that her charges were inflated and portraying oneself as the one who is misinterpreted. Pleasant character in this soap show, but an intimate lawyer has revealed shocking information that Blake had faith in Justin.
The Hollywood actress Blake Lively has filed a legal complaint against her. It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni, alleging sexual harassment and a campaign to destroy her reputation.
And right when you believed that the situation couldn't be much more intense, an supposed voice note appears where it is said that Justin expressed regret for a Justin Baldoni, yes, rooftop argument, supposedly left Blake a voicemail. Lively is expressing regret for their rooftop conflict while It Ends With was being filmed. As there's no better method to patch things up instead of apologizing online. Information may then be utilized as proof in court.
As well, an intimacy coordinator has weighed in and has said that she thinks that Blake trusted Justin.
What was the supposed meaning of this voice note? Say, well, according to Valden's reports, apologized, stating, I apologize. That's it, no lengthy lecture. Shakespeare's appeal for pardon only. A brief, charming, and incredibly laden, I apologize, but this is the $1 million. Was there sincere regret or a strategic move in chess?
You should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect.
Let's dissect it on. This could be Baldon's method on the one hand, of attempting to patch things up, a moment of perhaps vulnerability in the midst of all the craziness. He was truly sorry about anything, landed on that roof, and desired to clear the air, but conversely, remember that we're dealing with, here in Hollywood, even apologies can have a hidden agenda. Might this have been a deliberate action to demonstrate the public and the court that he is the Blake's response as a bigger person is basically, as far as we are aware, she is fascinating, has not publicly addressed the apology. Blake, that stillness says 1,000 words, keeps her legal battlefront and center, not allowing a single voice note to undermine her plan.
Message. Justin Baldoni is following through on his vow to release all his communications with Blake Lively, revealing a nearly 7-minute apology he sent her at 2
Let's now discuss how this voice message is being played in some in the public eye view it as a time of Baldoni's atonement as evidence that he's this story's antagonist isn't the only one. Others, though, are more dubious, wondering if the timing is right and if it's completely legal and just a publicity stunt. Experts are having a great time discussing if this apology is beneficial or harms Baldon's case. That much is certain. This voice message has included an additional, a dramatic touch to an already complex case, and if it turns out to be a pivotal moment or perhaps an additional footnote, it remains to be seen in this feud.
Sorry, I effed up. I will admit and apologize when I fail. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will
Let's go on to the following act. Blake, of this crazy Hollywood drama. The second lawsuit that Lively filed against Justin. Yes, people, Baldoni is back with more legal heat, and it's personal this time. And costly Blake's asserting serious mental anguish and, well, a side of lost income as a result of allegedly dealing with on-set turmoil and rooftop feuds is not inexpensive.
Stole his movie away from him, and he is still trying to rise above and keep the peace.
Initially, let's discuss Blake's emotional distress bit, essentially stating that Baldwin's behavior, both during it ends filming, she wasn't merely inconvenienced by us. They completely destroyed her emotional well-being. She claims that the express train, the emotional cost of the entire situation has been very devastating, and we're discussing anxiety, restless nights, and likely a great deal of costly therapy, meetings, and let's face it, treatment in Hollywood is not like other co-eyes.
Circumstance.
He's not just the lead actor, but he is the producer and director of the movie. He is the director! But she was trying to pull a Ryan Reynolds.
But hold on, Additionally, Blake is waving the financial loss flag, asserting that the activities of Baldwin caused her career to take a severe knock and reputation. Now that Blake is among golden stars of Hollywood, any decrease in her being marketable is important, and she's not only discussing a few missed paychecks, this represents lost income with the type of capital L and W that makes you question whether Baldwin unintentionally excluded her name from the list of invitees for her next big hit.
All hell broke loose. She claims he sexual harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her.
Let's take a moment to discuss Ryan. Remember Ryan Reynolds, a masterclass in contributing to this drama, in matrimonial devotion with a dash of barbarism, levity.
He's brought the suit, and he's got to defend himself. And there's some very serious allegations being made against him and Wayfair for harassment.
As Blake, Ryan was fighting it out in court. Choose to include his sense of humor into The Ring, and I mean borderline funny. Deadpool 3 introduces psychological warfare. And Nice Pool, the now infamous figure. Ryan might keep things, you'd think, elegant and exclude Baldwin's name from his scripts.
Personal toll. They take a huge financial toll. It's really, really difficult. And for them, it's not a game, right? For them, it's not entertainment.
However, he went all out to create an excruciatingly cheerful and overly kind person whose inflated sincerity was a straightforward mockery of Justin Baldoni.
And Blake Lively has proven, Ryan Reynolds has proven to be actually the smartest in the room and was likely manipulated.
Let's put simply, pleasant isn't all that he is. Excessively pleasant, obnoxious form of pleasant enough to make you question if fans something is really wrong instantly became popular, particularly since, according to Niswell's narrative, being ridiculously self-centered yet posing as if Baldwin was everyone's best buddy. Ryan is still working to repair his reputation, simply made things much more difficult with this blatant insult, and to be honest, how is someone is meant to bring a lawsuit in opposition to a parody while concurrently attempting to demonstrate that they are not a public. Ryan, the laughingstock, didn't merely make fun of Baldoni, confined him in his mind to a corner and gave the popcorn to the world. Watch it happen.
EMZ, let's look at what he said. Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement, extending far beyond just being a supporter.
This is where things stand currently. Squander the legal team of Spicy Baldwin. They're out here, hitting back with zero time, presenting Blake's assertions as not only Inflated, but somewhat. They consider her to be fantastical. Lawsuit focuses more on real damages than. They have referred to her as more theatrical. Accusations that are detrimental not only to Baldwin's, to the case itself as well as to its reputation. Ultimately, if all the damaged feelings in Hollywood led to a legal action that the legal system would disintegrate under the burden of little complaints and wounded egos.